The Padres make an insane blockbuster trade, and we got to talk about everything that this means and what's going on. Christian Pedersen back with another episode of Padres Digest. Thank you very much for tuning into the show. We got to get straight to talking about how the trade deadline has turned into trade action finally. The Padres have made some massive deals. This could be one of many, or this could be one of only one, and the signs of bad things to come. Drop a comment as we go through all of this. If you could hit the subscribe button, that would also be much appreciated. If not, no worries. Still going to be here to talk baseball. Let me give you the specifics of this deal. The Padres and the currently Sacramento A's have made a deal for Mason Miller and J.P. Sears to be coming to the San Diego Padres. What we're giving up is not fantastic in terms of if we're looking at this in a vacuum as trade one of only one, the price is pretty hefty. We are going to be getting rid of Leo DeVries along with 3 pitchers from San Diego. The pitchers still in the process of being named. Got to assume that this is not going to be Cease, King, and Darvish. It's probably going to be some younger guys, some minors guys. The big piece here is DeVries. And DeVries for Mason Miller. Okay. Unpacking all of this, my mind can go in a million different ways, and I'm trying to cohesively, because we are recording this as this is all kind of breaking, I'm going to try and cohesively weave it all together. I think anytime you trade a top prospect, granted, top prospects don't always pan out to be top major league players. Anytime you trade a top prospect, it is a little bit of a hard pill to swallow, because we are on the other end of that, having traded James Shildt for Fernando Tatis, and you look at what he goes on to do. So the possibility of projecting out a couple years and seeing LDV in an A's uniform belting out 35 home runs and making an all-star game and all that, like, you look back and you go, what coulda, woulda, shoulda. So trading a top prospect for any program is tough. Trading a top prospect for in a world where we only have 2 even decently tradable prospects also continues to be like, okay, our farm system wasn't getting any deeper, and now it really isn't getting any deeper because we've just taken out our assets. I am, though, reminded in group chats galore right now that LDV does not help the Padres win now, and Mason Miller, JP Sears can, in fact, help the Padres win now. So the win now, let's talk about it. Let's look at the numbers in terms of what we've got going on for the stats of everybody. This is Mason Miller. He is the A's closer currently and is somebody who is considered one of the better closers in baseball, is also somebody who has had the story and the plot line floated around that he could be converted from a closer to a starter, something that the Padres have done pretty well with, moving King to the rotation, moving Kolek to the rotation, moving Lugo to the rotation. There have been some pieces that the San Diego Padres have moved from the bullpen to the rotation with great success. So if for the here and the now, this guy goes to the bullpen, that's a hat on a hat, having 4 all-star relievers. So part of me wants to hope and feel and plead that this is going to be one deal in a series of deals to be done today. But given that those other subsequent deals have not been done yet today, I don't want to, have this video meander off into a path of, well, if this happens, Just talking about the here and the now. Mason Miller adds an arm to a fantastic bullpen that is very, very deep now. Is he going to be converted to a starter overnight? No. Is he going to be converted to a starter this season? Maybe. That's really, it is possible. It is not for me to know. It is obviously something that AJ and Ruben Nebel and the powers that be have a plan for. I do think that the most interesting aspect of the Miller trade for me is the control that the Padres have for him. And again, this goes back into does his control help us win now? No, not necessarily, but we've got 5 years worth of Mason Miller. He's 26 right now. He's only been in the bigs for a year plus. Like, he is a young, fantastically lively arm that if you are looking at a rotation that is going to lose some pieces like Cease and King or just Cease or just King or something like that, he can fill in long term. So, say he's bullpen help now, he's starting help next year. JP Sears, what are the Padres getting here? I think that they are getting a lefty. That's about all that you can glean from these numbers. Kind of a 500 dude. A little under 500 for his career. ERA is hovering in the 4s. This feels like we got another Kyle Hart, in that we got a lefty that, like, we're going to be okay with some days he's out there handling the job. We're not going to be okay with other days that he's going to be out there handling the job. But it's nice that we've got a serviceable MLB lefty in the rotation. Like, this Sears feels like he is replacing the 3 arms that the Padres are giving up along with LDV. Like, this is just a dude who we probably see somewhere between 15 and 30 times in a Padres uniform before he is either dealt or signs with somebody else in the offseason or is DFA. Like, I think that the real core here is LDV for Mason Miller. So Mason Miller coming over. Okay, he helps. He helps now. I'm curious, and you guys drop comments on all of this, what you think in terms of LDV was listed by a lot of you guys, if not all of you guys, unanimously as a can't touch player. So are we happy with a can't touch player going and getting traded in exchange for a rocket arm? Like, does this help us? Does this hurt us? I've seen some people say that this hurts us potentially with future international signees, that we pay these guys a ton of money only to dish them for pieces like this. There's a lot to unpack there. I think that the here and the now is that technically on paper, the Padres have gotten better. And so I will take that as the immediate here and now takeaway from this trade, is that the Padres have added a fantastic arm and a lefty that can be placed into the rotation potentially should we have some more injuries or rotational needs for that. The quick thing that I will say on the dominoes falling past this is that if Mason Miller going into the bullpen could maybe open up for Suarez to be dealt, and then if Cease going allows Sears to fill that spot, like, there could now be a pathway for another trade there to still bring in an arm, and you kind of look at the team and you go, whoa, okay, we still even got better. But I am curious, leveraging something like the future of LDV for, is it just going to be Mason Miller? And if it's just Mason Miller, this feels potentially like we are trading LDV to fill a starter spot next year when King and Cease leave. I don't know. Again, that's where I didn't want to get too meandery off into the deals. But the Padres, for the here and the now, we have traded. I will remind everybody what this deal is that we have traded we have acquired Mason Miller, and it comes at the cost of the Padres the Padres top prospect. Comes at the cost of the Padres top prospect and the number 3 overall prospect in baseball. So that's where we're here. That's where we're at right here, right now. We're recording this at 8:30 a.m. on trade deadline day, and so there's still plenty of time for other action to happen. So let me know what you think on this trade, what you think on Miller. Do you like him as a reliever? Do you like him as a starter? Do you think that this is one domino of multiple to fall, or do you think that this is a sign that the Padres just have kind of lost the plot and don't really know what they're doing? Drop a comment on all that, and like I said, if you could hit the subscribe button, it would be much appreciated. Until next time, talk to you guys soon.